What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Loaded. And today, yes, we're doing an unboxing of a Asus ROG Strix X870-F gaming Wi-Fi AMD motherboard. Now, I did a little bit of research on what was the best for the budget, if you got a little bit of bang for your buck. So this board retails between $370 to $450, depending on where you get it from. I went with an open box from Best Buy, and I had to have it shipped to me because there was none in my location or my area. So the handler of the shipping was FedEx, and we already see FedEx's ground living up to its expectations of not having proper package handling. So when I pick this thing up and move it around, things are not secure. So it makes me a little nervous on the packing, how much they used when they shipped it, etc. So let's hope that the board is not damaged. And let's see if we got an actual manufacturer box inside here. Oh, we do. Can't be mad. Got a manufacturer box. I just got to make sure that none of the pins are broken because this was an open box. It was discounted by 40% from the sticker. So let's see what we got ourselves into. Yep, the packing was very limited. Yes, the box did take somewhat of a blow. It does not feel packed correctly. It feels very tight, like someone crammed everything in there and just called it good. So this might be a return. Let me get this out of the way. So far the box weighs a lot. Like for it being a motherboard, it's pretty heavy. So let's see what we got going on here. So the packing is questionable already. It is not completely sealed. I'm not liking the results. Some of the pins look bent on the headers. Great. So somebody might pull a hot swap just to get a new board because theirs was malfunctioning. So right now I have no way to test this because the processor that I ordered has not showed up yet. We went with the Ryzen 7 9800 X3D. Once it comes in, I will be installation on that when I get it. But let's just take a look at the CPU socket just to make sure we ain't got no broken pins, because if we do, we got problems. And so far, it looks good. I got to be 100% because I know how people are. They're not the best at installing their hardware when they get it. They're like, oh, let me watch a video. It's that simple. In some cases, yes. In some cases, no. Some people just don't know that you're not supposed to be really rough with your hardware. But I think I see a bent pin. I got to pull out my phone and use my camera to take a picture of this just to make sure that there is no bent pins. And so far, I'm not liking what I'm seeing when I get the close-up. You feel me? So I'm going to take a look. And it looks like the corner has a couple potential bent pins. Hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully when I get the CPU, this thing fires up right away and we have no issues, because it doesn't look like they did much, but other than open it and realize they probably bought a board that they weren't really interested in and bringing it back, or they tried to install things and then things weren't going the way they planned. Like, I know how it is. People do hot swaps with computer parts when it comes to having to spend another $300-400. I get it. People do it all the time, especially with Amazon. So it's like they'll buy the same board and put their old board back into it and say, hey, this thing doesn't work. And boom, they got a free board and Amazon just ate it. It's a common thing. I hear about it all the time. But for the weight of the board, it is pretty heavy. I'm like, there are some beefy components on here. From what I understand, I got 4 SD slots for M2 drives. So that's a plus. And I got about 6 fan headers from what I understood. See, I like what they did with here. They put the covers over the fan headers in case something does happen. So Asus, good job. That's a good thought right there. Maybe we should start thinking about the other side of the board too. Get the pin headers all protected like you did on the other side. And then we would be looking completely professional, 100%, you know. So far, just taking a look at the board, everything looks to seem to be intact. The pins are a little questionable up on the top right corner. They don't look normal. They looked a little off because everything else looked normal but that area. So I hope they didn't put a CPU in here and then they ended up toasting the pins. And that's why they returned it, because I'd be really upset because I'd have to ship this back and wait for another one. And I don't think there was any more open boxes when I made my purchase. So once I get my CPU, this is going to get matched with a 5070 Ti. So I have 32 gigs of RAM that is PNY branded. My graphics card is also PNY. So I'm a very firm believer of PNY products. They're very great, very durable, and they're great for the price. You know, you get pretty good performance out of most of PNY's graphics cards. Now, RAM, I haven't seen them make any more other than the set that I have, and it's a 7200 mega transfer cache rate on it. So it should be good once I get the AMD processor, because AMD's map better for you know, higher frequency RAMs. Intel's kind of touchy. It's like they want you to buy the most current gen processor, the most current gen board, and that's how we're gonna get the max overclock out of your memory when it says like, oh, it can do up to 2,000 megatrans or 7,000 megatransfers, or even up to 8,000. There is some kits out there that do it, but it's like you have to spend the money on the board. You know, it's like, it's insane. It's like you have to spend $1,000 to get the mega transfers that you want out of your RAM. So let's take a look at what else is in here, since this is looking not 100% professionally repacked. So we got some SATA cables. I think this is the, or no, this is the Wi-Fi antenna. Done with Wi-Fi. I won't be using it. I have hardline. Don't even bother with it. Let me get the rest of this board. So luckily the user that took this or got it did not use the stickers. So this is going to be going all over my tower when I get done with it. So AMD, here I come. I've been an Intel user for the last 6 years solid. Before that, I used to have an AMD 1600X Athlon processor, dual. I used to play CSGO on it. It worked amazing. So I recommend AMD for gaming on majority game titles, especially if you're going to play Counter-Strike. So if you're going to play Counter-Strike, that game thrives for AMD processors. Just being 100% at this point, you know. So I'm making a switch just so I can see the difference, because there's so many people that tell me like, oh, I'm on AMD, and I can see the difference in the performance, their shot patterns, everything. It doesn't have any bottlenecking. So it's like I'm really hurting myself by not switching, in my opinion. So we'll see after I get it done. I'll post a video and see how well I do on the game after that, because there's days where I'm on point, but then I start running into AMD users and boom, I'm done. But as you can see, we got like some M.2 screws, jumper covers for something. Doesn't really specify. Maybe if I looked in the manual, it'll tell me. But more jumper covers. We got, what is this? Thermal pad, probably for something that's on the motherboard. We'll probably figure that out later once I do the install. And we got like some plastic covers for certain connectors, you know, stuff that probably doesn't even mean much. They give you some zip ties in case you need to tie down some fan wires or move some things around. But this is pretty cool. You get a little keychain when you buy their stuff. You feel me? So like I'm gonna be throwing this on my keychain for my car now. You know, I'm gonna be sporting Asus ROG Strix brand, bro. That's comedy. But yeah, that's what's up, man. I see you get a little extra for spending, you know, close to 400 bucks on a board, but I got this at like $236 on an open box, so I can't be mad. You feel me? So like after I get my processor, it should be here in a couple of days, and then we'll be able to attack this board and put everything together. And let's see how the performance is compared to my Intel, because I have my Intel right here. I got an i9 12900KS with a 5070 Ti in it already. So I'm going to be taking that Ti and putting it in here. And we should see a whole different game. Whole different world, they said. So let's see. But this is your boy, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.